oh my God, I need to get into university at 18 so that I can graduate at 23 or 24, so that I can get married at 25, so that I can have kids by 30. I didn't realize that life just didn't work that way. We're not teaching the younger ones that you get there when you get there, on your own terms, on your own time. So anyway, yeah, I got into med school. I was so happy. I was excited. I was nervous. It didn't feel real. This entire year, at no point did I think I deserved to get into medicine, because I just didn't have that self-confidence that I could get into medicine. And I did. I got into Poland. I got the opportunity to study abroad. So much nervousness, so much excitement. I only had 2 weeks to pack and get everything ready, all of my documentation, because again, school starts in 2 weeks. Bear in mind, in Ireland, school had already started. So I felt behind, but also like my life had just started. You know, the prayer I told God, please just let me get in. I can do this, came true. And so I was determined to do my absolute best with this opportunity I was granted by God's grace. I didn't think I deserved it. Even if I got the requirements, I superseded what they wanted from me from Wood. I didn't think I deserved it, just because I felt I didn't work hard enough for it, which I did retrospectively. But I was just determined to do my best this year, and I was so grateful that I was able to get in. Like, after so much tears, so much depression, so much crying on the road in a random street, I got in. So like I was gonna grab life by the and really start living. Which brings me on to my next topic of interest: the concept of time and age. When you're a secondary school student, you feel like time is such a limited, finite source. If you don't get in to university this year, you are basically finished. But that's simply not true, because after having done this drawing about how I felt like I was suffocated by the concept of time, by not being where I'm supposed to be at a certain age, I realized that we're not teaching the younger ones that you get there when you get there, on your own terms, on your own time. People have gotten into medicine at 18 and have dropped out at 19. People have gotten out of university at 23 and have been unemployed for 4 years. You are perfectly on your own path, and your own time is always right. And even if it doesn't seem that way, especially in comparison to all your peers, there are always ways to get what you want. Back then, I felt suffocated by the concept of time, the concept of, oh my God, I need to get into university at 18 so that I can graduate at 23 or 24, so that I can get married at 25, so that I can have kids by 30. I didn't realize that life just didn't work that way, because retrospectively, even if I was able to get that gap year, what would have happened? Absolutely nothing. I would have gone to Maynooth, I would have done biomedical science for 3 years, and then I would have taken the GAMSAT exam, the graduate entry exam, and then I would have gotten into medicine. Or I would have taken a gap year and then I would have applied to Poland the next year. Or I would have taken a gap year and decided to go all in on my HPAT or UCAT study to go to the UK. My point is, it was never a linear path. It was never this big, scary, one way path to medicine. If not, you die and disappoint everyone in your life. It was never this. You have time. No one is chasing you. You are right where you need to be. And I feel like if I was told these words when I was younger, it would have helped me relax and control a lot of the anxiety that I unfortunately brought into my first year of college as well. Because time is what you make of it. You are right where you need to be. You will get into medicine. Even if it's not this year, you will get in next year or the year after. We all know the story of Agogo, who's also Irish Nigerian. She got in after like what, 6 attempts. Time is not chasing you. You own time. In your time, things will work out for you. And if you don't get into medicine 1 year, it doesn't mean that you're not able to get in next year. One thing I realized about time, especially when it comes to medicine, is that it's all well and good if you're able to get in on the first year, which technically I did. But being able to stay in med school, being able to survive the challenges that it will give you, undoubtedly, for the next 6 years is the real challenge. Don't stress out about what you can't control at this point in time if you are high school students trying to apply to medicine, because time is on your side. You will get in when you get in, and when you get in, you will hit the ground running because you know that you deserve to be there in that time, in that space. Okay? So time is not chasing you. You own time. Time is your bitch. So that's what I want to tell you. The concept of time and age is a mirage. Whatever you want to do with your time, you can. If I didn't get into medicine the year I got in 2021, I would have gotten in another time. It was not the end of the world. My entire life didn't come crushing down on me. It was just a really, really, really difficult year. And I feel like leaving cert students, especially those who are trying to get into really high stakes course, deserve all the support they can get, because coming out of there unscattered alive is the real reward, guys. Why do I do this? Why medicine? Why helping others apply to Poland? I'm doing this because I struggled a lot with this process of getting into medicine, and I struggled also a lot with imposter syndrome. Actually, my imposter syndrome, where I felt like I didn't belong for the longest time, where I felt like I shouldn't be here regardless of getting through the years in medical school, is why I'm making this video. Actually, I didn't fully get over my imposter syndrome until after I passed all of my third year exams. And for the record, I'm in fourth year right now, which means it took me 3 years to understand this simple concept that I'm about to tell you. The stigma of studying medicine abroad doesn't make me less capable, less intelligent. No. But I struggled with this because I had a very difficult time going into medicine, that I felt like I was basically given this position from God out of pity. And even though I got the grades required of me for medicine in Poland, because come on, realistically, you need science subjects like biology, chemistry, that's great, and I excelled in this. Math, physics, also great, but it wasn't a necessity if you already had biology and chemistry. My point is that I did everything right. I studied for the exam for this school. I got really high grades for the school, and I've been passing all of my exams ever since, but I still felt like I wasn't enough. Why? Because of that initial moment when I was trying to apply and all of these rejections kept on coming my way. It made me feel too small to receive this big gift that God has given me. And so I felt like I was less capable. Maybe I took the easy way out. I couldn't get into UK, I couldn't get into Ireland. Poland was the only place that would take me. This was how I felt. I felt like I wasn't intelligent or smart enough. I felt like I took someone else's pace by studying medicine here. And this was simply not true. I deserved everything I've gotten up until this moment because I worked for it. I feel like I probably wasn't told enough how smart and brave and intelligent I was back then. I think I struggled a lot with opening up and expressing these feelings of nothingness to people, that I kind of internalized it up until my third year of medical school. But now I help others who feel lost and who feel rejected and are unsure of their options, because that was once me. I was at the stage you are at. I felt hopeless. And honestly, none of it even mattered, because once you get into medicine, that's where it's at. And even though I didn't get into medicine in Poland, I mean, even though I didn't get into medicine in Ireland, or the UK, one thing I can tell you is that no prestigious university would make you into a good doctor. Not that my school isn't prestigious or anything, but to be a good doctor, that's on you. What matters is what you do when you get into medical school and when you hit the ground running. So, what are my final thoughts about the reality of medicine and studying abroad? Medicine is not easy. Let me just get that straight into your head. Medicine is not easy. So, you will constantly forget things, you will constantly have to relearn a lot of things. This is just the process, this is just how it is. It's not about getting in, it's about staying in. Like I've already told you, people have gotten into medicine at 18, they have dropped out at 19. People have done a whole degree of 3 years and they have finished at 30. And guess what? They're going to be doctors. If you failed subjects in medicine, this is just part of it. Perseverance is everything. The ability to keep going even though life knocks you down. That's really what medicine is about, because you just have to be a hard worker to be here. You don't have to be overly intelligent or overly smart. You don't have to be this person who knows it all. Because honestly, no one likes to know it all. Let me just get that. Let me just get that out. No one likes to know it all. But you don't have to pretend to be someone you're not. If you don't understand something, that's okay. You ask questions, you go back home, you study, you research. That's fine. You're not going to know everything, but you have to be a hard worker when it comes to studying medicine at this degree, because it's such a huge jump from high school to university. I used to study for tests in high school in the morning. Like, for instance, if I had biology test that day, maybe I'll study the night before. Maybe I'll wake up early and do some extra studying, and I'll come out unscattered with like 90 to 100%. You can't do that in medicine. You have to study weeks, days, even months in advance. Like I'll tell you, for my pathology and pharmacology exam, I studied 3 months straight. That's 90 days and a bit just to pass those exams. That's insane. Who studies for that long? Who studies for that amount of time? And that's the difference between high school and university. You have to adapt and you have to be a hard worker. And that's what you need to be a medical student and to excel and thrive in it. So, yeah, choosing to study abroad, this concept that choosing to study abroad is you taking an easier option, that's simply not true, because medicine is medicine everywhere. No matter where you study, it's going to be as hard and as difficult as ever. I didn't take an easier route. I took a different route, which is what I try and inform people about. People think that because Poland and all these other Eastern European countries have less requirements, it means that you got in because you're not smart. And that's simply not true, because as we know, to be a medical student, you have to be a hard worker. So, no, that's simply not true. I just took a different route. If I'm comparing Ireland to Poland, I would say in Ireland, I don't think we have a lot of universities, so I think the competition has to be that high stakes. In Ireland, we have like what, five universities? We have for medicine: NUI Galway, Cork, UCD, Trinity, RCSI, and Limerick, but only for graduate entry medical students. So there's five universities basically, and we have an increasing amount of people trying to get into medicine every year in Ireland. It has to be high stakes for a reason. There's simply not enough spaces, there's not enough seats for people to get into what they wanted. If we had a low percentage of people going into medicine, I'm sure all of us will be able to get in, but this is their filter system. This is just how the country does its thing. It has nothing to do with how smart you are or how intelligent you are or lack thereof. It just has to do with simple management of spaces. It's not about you. So, yeah. So in Ireland, you need top scores in every subject so that they can adequately place you in a rank so that you can be given a spot to study medicine. In Poland, you need H4s in two out of the following subjects, which is biology, chemistry, math, physics. I got H1s and H2s. That's fine. So if you're getting the grades, if you're getting the requirements for another school, then what makes you any less? Why feel any less when you did exactly what they wanted you to do? You did science subjects, and Ireland requires you to do more than science subjects. In the UK, they require you to do only three subjects. So honestly, you are on a roll. If you choose to study medicine abroad, it's because you're deserving. It's because it's a different pathway, not an easier one, but one that is right for you and one that has nothing to do with the amount of seats in the country and medical schools or lack thereof. So, yeah, that's what I want to say. Anyway, one thing that I realized when I reached medical school is that many people that I started with aren't here anymore. It's just the reality of medicine. And I wrote a poem about this, and you can find it in my last video, I would say. But like, we had 10 groups in first year, and now we have only six groups or seven, if I'm correct. So in each of these groups in first year, we had 12 students. And if we're solely judging based on how many people are left from that initial first batch, not people who failed and had to come down, I don't think we're up to 60 from first year. And assuming there was 120 people in first year, I think we might have lost half of them. So the goal was never to just get into medicine. The goal was to survive and thrive in the school as well. So, yeah, I knew I wanted to go straight into medicine. I didn't want any detours in the sense that I didn't want to take another course like biomedical science. I didn't want a gap year. I couldn't even get a gap year if you've watched this entire thing. And now I'm here, and that is great. If I could go back in time to 18-year-old Melissa in her sixth year of secondary school, I would do a few things differently because I wasn't perfect and I can't have been expected to be because I didn't know the things that I know now. So I would do things differently. So the first thing I would do is that I didn't know how to study properly. I told you before that in medicine, you need days, weeks, months to study for one exam. Back then, I was studying like what, a day in advance, at most 2 days. If we're really trying to push it, maybe a week. But I didn't know how to study back then. As a result, I feel like my grades weren't the best, and I couldn't work with it as competitively as I would have liked to. If I knew how to use active recall, spaced repetition, Anki, all these things that you hear a lot of medical students repeat so often, I feel like I would have been at a much better place when it came to applying to these different schools. So I would definitely learn how to study better for the grades that I want. And next, I feel like I put all my eggs in too many baskets. Like I just scattered them everywhere and I didn't have a proper goal. So, as you know, I applied for four different schools in different countries in my sixth year of secondary school. This was UK, Ireland, Netherlands, and Poland. And I feel like this greatly affected my study for the most important exam that year, which was my leaving cert. Because, like, come on, I didn't have enough time to study for my leaving cert when I was busy trying to write medical exams from different countries, entrance exams of all sorts, and just personal statements, essays, whatever they required. I feel like I focused a lot more on the application process than I did on the main meet than I did on the main important issue, which was my leaving cert. So, as a result of not having enough time to study for predicted grades, as well as the problems with COVID, etc., I had to squeeze time for my actual Irish Leaving Cert. Squeeze time for my study in between all of this chaos of this medical application process whatsoever. So in retrospect, I would not put all my eggs in one basket. I feel like if I were to give you advice right now, I would say choose two countries, one main and one burner. Is that what you call it? One backup. So let's say I was like, okay, I want to go to the UK. I would choose the UK and I would choose a burner like Poland because they require less competitive grades than the UK. Again, it's not because that you're not as smart enough or whatever. It's just because, the seating. I would choose two countries to go to, one main and one backup, so that I know how to plan my study. For instance, doing UK and Ireland was way too much. So I would choose maybe only the UK and then Poland so that I can focus on UCAS as a whole, the UCAS exam, the personal statements, the interviews, and then I can focus on my leaving cert better because Poland entrance exam comes much later on in the year, like April, May. This is when it starts. So I will be thinking, okay, I want to go to medical school in the UK or Poland, so I will focus on this too, so that I will have enough time to study for my actual Irish leaving certificate. Or you could have chosen to just do Ireland and the Netherlands, but I would choose two countries. I would not go for four because I had to do four different applications as well as study during COVID for my predicted grades as well as my actual written exam. So it was way too much for anyone to bear, and I would not recommend. So, yeah, I put all of my eggs in too many baskets. As a result, focusing only on applications meant I had to spread my study quite thin. I will know how to study properly if I were going back in time. I will only choose two countries, like fewer countries, and I will focus intensely more on my grades so that I can have the best competitive chance as I can for these two countries I've chosen. And I'll make sure basically not to put all my eggs in so many baskets. Maybe only two. Two is fine. So, my closing message to anyone who is struggling is that there's always a way to get around things. There's always a way to medicine. It doesn't have to be just a linear pathway. Your path doesn't have to look like everyone else's, it has to be yours. The same goes for time. You make time your bitch. Where you study doesn't define the kind of doctor you'll be. Like I've said before, no prestigious university will make you into a great doctor. You have to do that on your own. What matters in medicine and medical school is what you do with the time that you're given in medicine. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You could get into medicine at 18 and drop out at 19. So, really, it's all about staying focused when you get there, when you hit the ground running, making sure that you know all of your study techniques, your strategies, trying to get through the entire 6 years, not just focus only on getting in, but not staying in. Yeah, that's basically it. There's always a way, guys. Time is not working against you, time is working for you. Time is what you make of it. So make time your bitch. Focus only on your own path. Okay, so if you've watched this far, you know how much imposter syndrome affected my journey. And so I have created something to help you. So it is my first digital product called Overcoming Imposter Syndrome, and it is designed to rewire your brain for the year ahead. And I honestly think it's one of the greatest things I've ever made because what got me through this time is literally positive affirmation, speaking truth to yourself. So this week, I am offering a 10% discount. And I made this product with the students at heart, which means it is affordable for everyone. So the link is in my bio, also in the description. So act fast to grab your discount. So back to the video. So if you're struggling with med school applications, drop a comment down below because I would love to help you out. If you're looking at studying medicine abroad, perhaps in Poland, then check out my YouTube shorts. I'm much more active on TikTok though. And if you related to any part of my medicine journey, then make sure you comment down below what part you liked, what part you disliked. And if you want to see more content about studying medicine abroad, please don't forget to like and subscribe. So, bye, guys. Oh my god, I'm so tired.